I don't want history to repeat itself. I do not want to be a single dad. And I certainly don't want my children to have a life without a mother or a father.
Prince William has appointed Jason North, a former royal aide who accused Meghan Markle of bullying. He's appointed this dude as the CEO of his green charity. This looks like an unequivocal message to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from Prince William.
William just made the move that changes everything. 27 years of brotherhood, gone. Harry's royal future, shattered. Inside the palace, behind doors sealed to the public, senior royals are holding secret meetings. And the whispers are chilling. Harry and Meghan could be stripped of every title, every privilege, every tie to the crown. This isn't about family feuds anymore. This is about power, legacy, and William protecting his future kingdom from what he now sees as traitors. And the nuclear option? It doesn't stop at Harry and Meghan. It could extend to their children too. No going back, no second chances. The royal war is on the verge of turning absolutely brutal. So let's rewind. May 19th, 2018, St. George's Chapel. Millions watching around the world. A picture-perfect moment. Hollywood meeting royalty. But if you look closer, you'll see the exact second everything began to unravel. Meghan and Harry walked right past Queen Elizabeth herself. No curtsy, no acknowledgement, nothing. And trust me, that wasn't some innocent mistake. In the royal family, nothing is improvised. Every bow, every glance, every step is rehearsed. Which means that moment wasn't an oversight. It was the first crack in the crown.
You know how to curtsy, right? And I just thought it was a joke.
Most viewers missed it. They were caught up in the music, the gown, the glittering fairy tale. But William, he noticed. He caught the moment instantly. And insiders say he knew right then this wasn't a mistake. It was a message. From William's perspective, imagine it. Your brother is marrying a woman who just snubbed the Queen of England, your grandmother, on live television, with the entire world watching. That single curtsy isn't just some stuffy ritual. It's the symbol of respect, the act of submission to the institution itself. The moment Meghan walked past without it, she wasn't just defying etiquette. She was defying the crown. But here's the part that shook William to his core. Harry did nothing. He didn't correct it, didn't guide Meghan, didn't even flinch. To William, that silence was deafening. It meant only one thing. Harry was already choosing Meghan over tradition, over duty, over the family. In William's mind, that was the first domino to fall. And according to palace insiders, William's patience has been crumbling ever since. What began as a small act of defiance has now escalated into a full-blown royal war.
How do you explain that to people? How do you explain that you bowed to your grandmother?
Think about how insane that is. The Queen, the head of state, the monarch, the woman who lived through abdications, scandals, wars, didn't even get to see the dress before the ceremony. That's not just unusual. That's unheard of. Every royal bride, from Diana to Kate, had their gown vetted and approved. Not just for style, but for symbolism. Every stitch matters. Every detail is measured against centuries of tradition. But Meghan? She bypassed all of that. No approval, no sketch, no royal oversight. She kept it hidden right up until she walked down the aisle. And that wasn't just fashion secrecy. To William, it was another message. I don't answer to the crown. Now put yourself in William's shoes. First, she skips the curtsy. Then she sidesteps the Queen's authority on the most important wedding of the decade. 2 strikes, back to back, in front of the entire world. For William, the pattern was already set. This wasn't a new duchess eager to learn the ropes. This was someone determined to bend the monarchy to her own script. And here's the part the palace never wanted you to know. Behind the scenes, insiders claim William warned Harry after the wedding. She's not going to follow the rules, and when she breaks them, you'll be forced to choose. That warning wasn't taken seriously then. But now, with secret palace meetings plotting the nuclear option, it looks like William's prophecy has finally come true.
Even Meghan's bridal gown was apparently the cause of some dispute. Remember, Meghan was a divorcee, and the Queen was apparently surprised that she was choosing to wear a white dress. According to the royal author Ingrid Seward, in her book Mother and I. Lady Elizabeth Anson, who was a cousin and close confidant of the Queen, claims the Queen said Meghan's wedding dress was too white. In the Queen's opinion, it wasn't appropriate for a divorcee getting remarried in a church to look quite so flamboyantly virginal.
To outsiders, this might all sound like palace gossip, but inside those walls, it was war by 1,000 cuts. Every tradition skipped, every slight ignored, every accusation broadcast to the world. It wasn't just Meghan pushing boundaries. It was Harry standing there, shoulder to shoulder with her, against his own blood. For William, that was the ultimate betrayal. He wasn't just losing a brother. He was losing the very foundation of loyalty the monarchy depends on. And once the floodgates opened, Oprah, Netflix, Spare, it was too late to patch things up. What had once been family disagreements exploded into full-blown public humiliation for the crown. And now, palace insiders say William has reached the point of no return. Quiet meetings behind closed doors, senior royals drafting contingency, plans, even whispers of stripping Harry and Meghan of their last remaining ties to the monarchy. Not just titles, but privileges, security, and the unspoken bond that once protected them. This isn't William the brother anymore. This is William the heir, the future king, a man who believes the survival of the monarchy outweighs blood ties. And for Harry and Meghan, that means the shield they once thought untouchable is about to shatter.
Harry, by doing the Oprah Winfrey Show and pressing that racist button, which actually never existed.
A racist button.
Yeah, well,
that's fair phrasing, isn't it? I mean, he accused them of racism.
He accused the royal family of racism. I know the royal family. I've worked with them for 21 years. I know that the Queen's greatest achievement in her lifetime was her Commonwealth of Countries.
William finally realized he wasn't just dealing with Meghan anymore. Harry had crossed the line too. Every interview, every memoir, every explosive reveal, it was Harry choosing exile over loyalty. And William was done making excuses. This wasn't about adjustment periods or culture clashes. From William's perspective, Harry and Meghan had declared war on the very institution he was born to defend. And that's when anger gave way to strategy. Because when a future king stops being emotional and starts being tactical, lives change in an instant. According to palace insiders, a private meeting has been arranged. Not a family chat over tea, but a war council. A remote estate. No aides. No minutes. Just the four core decision-makers of the monarchy. King Charles, Queen Camilla, William, and Catherine. And front and center on the agenda, Harry William, sources say, isn't interested in half measures. No, we'll wait and see. He wants a clean break. Titles stripped. Duke and Duchess of Sussex erased. HRH status revoked. The ties that once made them royals, severed for good.
Imagine you're real royalty, right? You're real royalty, and you have to bow down to this like ex-duchess who traipses around a kitchen doing flower arrangements on Netflix. That's like bowing down to one of the Kardashians. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to bow down to Meghan Markle as her royal highness. Y'all left the royal family. For Prince Harry to come in with all of these demands, it shows you that they're both delusional.
But here's the truly nuclear part. William doesn't just want Harry and Meghan cut off. He wants the line severed completely. That includes Archie and Lilibet. Under current rules, both children are entitled to use HRH titles once William becomes king. But insiders say William is already moving to make sure that never happens. In his mind, you don't just stop the problem at the source. You make sure it doesn't pass down to the next generation. Catherine, however, is reportedly the lone voice of caution. She isn't defending Harry and Meghan, not for a second. But she knows William better than anyone. And she knows that once he pulls this trigger, there's no undoing it. According to palace whispers, she's asking the uncomfortable questions. What if Harry truly wants to reconcile one day? What if we regret shutting this door forever? What does it do to the monarchy's image if the world sees us as ruthless? William's answer is blunt. We tried. For years, we tried. They chose their path. Now we choose ours. And here's the brutal truth. William has a point. Every time Harry and Meghan stir controversy, the headlines don't just mention their names, they mention their titles. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex. That royal stamp gives weight to every criticism, every tell-all, every attack. Strip the titles, strip the weapon.
On the official royal website, Archie and Lilibet are not Prince and Princess Archie and Lilibet yet. I think the reason that they are Master Archie and Miss Lilibet still is because a formal decision hasn't been taken yet.
From William's perspective, leaving those titles in place is like handing his enemies weapons to use against him. Harry and Meghan want independence? Fine. But they can't have it both ways. They can't attack the monarchy in public while cashing in on its prestige. The meeting hasn't happened yet, but when it does, don't expect any flashy press release. That's not how the crown works. These decisions are made in whispers first, then carried out in silence. But the moment William signs off, Harry's royal life ends in practice, if not in ceremony. Here's what William has accepted that the rest of the world is only starting to grasp. You can't just welcome Harry back anymore. You don't get Harry, the brother. You get the whole package. And that package includes Meghan, the children, the Netflix cameras, the memoir contracts, the podcast microphones, every extension of their new empire. Picture it. Harry shows up for Christmas. Sounds warm, nostalgic, even healing. But what happens after? Meghan at Easter? Archie and Lilibet at Trooping the Color? Royal security reinstated? Invitations to state dinners? Every step forward drags the entire Sussex machine back into the palace, and that's William's nightmare. Because every reunion, every hug, every private conversation is potential content. A throwaway joke could become a headline, a family. Dinner could become a Netflix scene. A confidential moment could turn into a bestseller. To William, that's not reconciliation. That's infiltration. Which is why this next decision may be the hardest and the most final move of his entire life.
I think a lot rides on these titles. Are we going to see this eagerly anticipated autobiography of Harry's? Are there going to be more interviews essentially trashing the royal family? The matter of titles created an absolute storm.
Catherine knows better than anyone that William's not just making a political calculation. He's making a choice that could freeze his heart for good. Once he locks that door on Harry, it never reopens. And she's terrified of what kind of king her husband will become if he lets bitterness, not mercy, define him. But William doesn't see it that way. For him, this isn't about forgiveness. It's about survival. He's watched every secret, every wound, every whispered conversation end up on camera or in print. He's learned the hard way that Harry doesn't see family. He sees material. And William refuses to let the monarchy become raw footage for another documentary. That's why this next meeting matters so much. At a secluded estate, with Charles and Camilla at the head of the table, William intends to lay it all out. Not half measures, not vague warnings. A clean break. Harry and Meghan stripped of their titles, their HRH revoked. Their children, Archie and Lilibet, blocked from ever claiming royal privilege. Catherine, ever the peacemaker, is expected to be the lone voice, urging caution. Not defending Harry, but defending William's humanity. She'll ask the uncomfortable questions. What if reconciliation is still possible? What if this decision makes us look ruthless? What if history judges us not as protectors of the crown, but as executioners of our own blood? But William's mind is already set. He's not acting as a brother anymore. He's acting as the heir. And when heirs decide the monarchy's survival is on the line, family ties aren't just strained, they're severed. For Harry, that means the last bridge home may be about to burn.
Hope we'll, be able to have a happy family ourselves, because it's been, they've been great over the years, helping me with, difficult times, and, we see a lot of each other.
For William, that April 2025 moment wasn't just another slip-up. It was proof. Proof that after 5 years, after agreements, after endless warnings, Meghan still saw herself as Her Royal Highness. Still used the very prestige they'd promised to set aside. And worse, Harry either couldn't stop her or didn't want to. Inside the palace, that gift basket became a smoking gun. Senior aides passed the photos up the chain, and by the time they landed on William's desk, his mind was already closing shut. To him, this wasn't about etiquette anymore. This was betrayal in black and white. Meghan openly weaponizing a title she had no right to touch. Catherine reportedly urged caution even here, saying maybe it was a thoughtless slip, maybe Meghan hadn't realized the optics. But William wasn't buying it. He pointed to the Oprah interview, the Netflix series, Spare. How many chances? He asked. How many times do we let them bend the rules until the rules mean nothing? That basket, with its elegant bow and glittering HRH signature, was more than a gift. It was a declaration. And for William, it was the last declaration he needed. This is why insiders say he's walking into that closed-door estate meeting with Charles and Camilla, prepared to drop the hammer. Not just titles stripped, not just privileges revoked. He wants the Sussex line formally cut off. Their children permanently blocked from HRH status. No limbo, no loopholes, no what-ifs. Catherine knows what that means. Not just for Harry, but for William. Once he makes this move, the brotherly bond is officially dead, and she's terrified of what kind of king that makes him.
This has reportedly enraged heir to the throne, Prince William, who wants to officially strip their behinds of the title once and for all.
To outsiders, a gift card might sound harmless, but in royal life, every word, every flourish, every title carries centuries of weight. And Meghan didn't just slip. She signed Her Royal Highness. That wasn't carelessness, that was choreography. From William's perspective, the insult cut deeper than any interview or Netflix documentary. Because this wasn't just defiance of him. This was a direct violation of Queen Elizabeth's final instructions. Her explicit command that Harry and Meghan could no longer use HRH. Palace insiders say William's reaction was immediate and explosive. Not just anger, betrayal. His grandmother, the monarch who held Britain together for 70 years, had given a final, firm ruling. And Meghan had spat on it with a flourish of ink and a luxury ribbon. That's why friends of William called it absolutely vile. This wasn't a PR misstep. It was a deliberate test. A way of saying the Sussexes would follow only their own rules. And it came at the worst possible time, just as senior royals were whispering about whether some limited reconciliation could be explored. In one swoop, Meghan destroyed that fragile opening and reminded everyone why the palace couldn't trust her. For William, this was the tipping point, not just a matter of protocol, but a matter of principle. If he let this slide, what did that say about his ability to guard the monarchy? If he allowed his late grandmother's wishes to be trampled, what message would that send about his reign? This is the moment insiders believe William stopped thinking like a brother and started acting like a king.
Releasing the news, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan are making a radical break, ceasing to be working members of the royal family.
The decision stunning the royal family and many in
For the monarchy, loyalty isn't just tradition, it's survival. And William watched his brother drag their father's government into court, publicly demanding taxpayer-funded protection, as if the crown were just another service provider. It wasn't just reckless, it was betrayal in legal ink. Senior aides say William was furious, not because of the loss, Harry lost that case badly, but because of what it represented. Harry wasn't just rejecting royal protocol, he was rejecting the system itself. Suing your own family's government while still calling yourself His Royal Highness? To William, that was the ultimate hypocrisy. You can't burn the house down while demanding to keep a bedroom inside it. And then came the silence, the part that cut deepest. When Meghan flaunted the HRH title on that gift card, Harry didn't step in. He didn't correct it. He didn't apologize. He didn't distance himself. He let it stand. For William, that silence was louder than any interview or lawsuit. It proved Harry wasn't just swept along, he was complicit. That's when the whispers of reconciliation turned into whispers of exile. William no longer saw this as family drama. He saw it as a breach of trust that endangered the very institution he would one day inherit. He wasn't just protecting his pride, he was protecting the monarchy. And that's why, according to palace insiders, the private royal summit at the secluded estate has one item at the top of its agenda: stripping Harry, Meghan, and even their children of every royal privilege left. Not punishment, not revenge, a clean break.
Harry has lost a high court challenge against the UK government over the level of security protection he receives when he's in the country. A London judge said that the decision to provide security to Harry on a case-by-case basis was not unlawful, irrational, or unjustified.
Harry wasn't just making himself look like the victim. He was dragging the monarchy's next generation into the firing line. By saying he couldn't safely bring Archie and Lilibet to Britain, Harry turned his own children into bargaining chips, essentially telling the crown, "Give me what I demand, or my family never sets foot on UK soil again." To William, that crossed a red line. Not only was Harry undermining King Charles's authority in a public courtroom, he was using his children's safety as leverage against the very institution that once protected him. In palace circles, insiders called it emotional extortion. To William, it was proof his brother no longer saw the monarchy as family, but as a contract he could renegotiate whenever it suited him. That's why sources say William hardened his stance after the court case. This wasn't about reconciliation anymore. This was about containment. Harry wasn't just embarrassing the monarchy. He was destabilizing it, openly suggesting the crown couldn't protect its own blood. For an heir who sees his future as king, tied to strength and stability, that was the final confirmation. Harry had become a liability, not a brother. And here's the cold truth William is said to have realized. If Harry can use his children as leverage now, what happens when they grow up? Does Archie sue for a title? Does Lilibet cash in on royal connections through Netflix deals? For William, cutting ties cleanly today is about preventing those future battles.
I don't want history to repeat itself. I do not want to be a single dad. And I certainly don't want my children to have a life without a mother or
That September 2025 well-child appearance was the turning point. William didn't even have to lift a finger. Harry exposed himself. After years of courtroom battles insisting it wasn't safe to step foot in the UK without state-funded protection, Harry strolled into London with nothing more than hired security and a smile for the cameras. For William, the hypocrisy couldn't be clearer. If Harry could do it now, then everything he'd said in court looked like a stunt, a play for privilege, leverage, and attention. Palace aides say that moment confirmed William's strategy. This wasn't about a misunderstanding. It wasn't about Meghan pulling the strings. It wasn't about Harry needing time. It was about a man who had chosen to weaponize his royal ties whenever it suited him, even if it meant dragging the family's reputation through the mud. And here's the devastating truth for Harry. William's patience is gone. What began as anger has hardened into resolve. He no longer sees Harry as the wayward brother who might come home one day. He sees him as a destabilizing force, one who must be permanently cut off to protect the crown. That's why insiders are whispering about a total erasure plan, stripping titles, cutting privileges, blocking future HRH rights for Archie and Lilibet, and freezing Harry out of every royal function for good. In William's eyes, it's not punishment, it's survival. The final irony? Harry thought leaving the monarchy gave him freedom, but in reality, it handed William the power to decide his fate. And William's decision is brutal, permanent exile. The brotherhood is gone. The monarchy comes first.